fourscore and 7 years ago, our God was brought forth on this continent. Oh, I'm missing the point again. Let me just say, none of this would be possible, and I would not be standing here in front of you today, but for one person in my life. That's my wife. She's always been my balance and my core. She's always been there to help me kind of. I'll say what I need to say. She's always been such an incredible part of my career as we have moved forward. And how important it was for me to succeed, because she had more faith in me than I had in myself. She knew my vision more than I knew it. She was always there to encourage, to help me see going forward how we would both be, have an advantage going in that direction. So I owe my wife everything. Of course, when I'm conscious, I don't know. But anyway, I know. I also want to recognize, if I can, just for a quick moment, my twin sister, who came all the way, from Wheeling, West Virginia. So a quick story about how we are as twins, and Diane, please pay attention. When we both turned 45, we essentially decided to do something that was a little radical for both of us. Mine was, if you've already seen some of the flips, was on a dare to do the STP, that's the Seattle Portland bike ride. And I got hooked in because Patrick, our son, duped me. I told his brother, hey, if you can get Pat to go, well, shoot, I'll try it. And we were in a group of people. It's like I had a megaphone. He looks up, looks at his brother, looks like I'm getting a bike. Oh. So in my little neighborhood of 1.8 miles, the first time I got a bike, I made all of about, almost 1.5, and thought I was going to die. But I pressed forward. And in July, I was able to complete it over a 2-day period. We got down to Portland. It was the most exhilarating moment of my life. I wanted to call my twin sister at the same time. And I kept it kind of quiet because I had no idea that I would ever do something like this. And I said, I got to tell you something. She says, no, wait, I have to tell you something. Because on that same weekend that I did the STP, she completed her first marathon. And didn't tell me. I always believe I'm rubber in the road, and I don't run. Something else has got to be there. Then I mentioned our son Pat. We have two of our grandsons with us, who are just just the focus of our lives, all 5 of them, and they're very important as to what we see our future being. When you think of your legacy, they're right there. That's your legacy in your life. And we want to preserve it and protect it and nurture it, to have the great adventure that I've been able to enjoy. I got cousin Jeff here, who I've known since he was 14. He's almost 60. We have been in trouble many times because we were both drinking, and somebody in a wheelchair should not drink. When I'm the designated driver. And Aunt Lorraine has been after me many times. I've told about that so many times. My cousin Mark Fangman and his wife Jeannie came all the way from Prineville, Oregon to share this with us, and I'm so happy to do that. My niece and nephew are here to be part of this. Eric, you guys, I'm just so excited to have you here with us. So thank you so much for coming. It means a lot to me. I mean, there's a lot to say and a lot to say thank you to. And some of it may have already been said. We have a lot of people here that we owe a lot to, and one of them, if I don't do it, will probably get me in a lot of trouble. And unfortunately, they're not here. But it's Joe Varley, Candy's ex-stepfather, Kathy's father, my sister-in-law, who we call Sister, and we love her deeply. And One day in 1972, while I was stationed at the Naval Air Station in Whidbey Island, Joe was a custodial service worker at the Naval Hospital, and he says, "Al, come on over, I want you to meet my family." I stalled it, and then sometime in August I said, okay, I'll come. And I go there, and I meet the most beautiful, voluptuous, most provocative woman I ever met in my life. Now, understand this, as Roger has already told you, I have a somewhat of a unique background along with Roger. We both went to what I call the academy, which was a boarding school, minor seminary. And then I went on to a Christian Brothers high school, just boys, no girls. And then I went on to the cloistered monastery, which celibacy is wrong. It's just not right. End of story. So that led me, as you're going forward with your life, you realize sometimes your life does start to mature. Thank God. But Candy, I met her in 19, so I was, well, how old was I? Okay, she was 15. I didn't know it. I'm 21, but we waited till she was 17, and then we got there. Now, and aside from that, and knowing again where my background was to that point, I had never dated a woman in my life until I met her. Never gone out with anyone else but her. The exception would be Connie Freed.
I was waiting on that one. That was a prom night.
So while I was at the academy, Anne had, at the high school, had some kind of prom, right?
Yeah.
And she said, "You got to take Connie out." Nobody asked Connie out. Oh my God, she's like 6'2", and she's skinny, and she just, it just makes me so, all right, I'll go with her. So we went out and had dinner, and we decided to drive out on this kind of a boondock area, and we got some water in the distributor, and we stalled out. A car out of nowhere comes up, and all of a sudden these guys get out, and I get Ann's Dick hands me a screwdriver, says, "Now if they get funny, let me know, but use the screwdriver to get them." Oh my God. Long story short, we got it all done, but the end of this whole event is that that was the last date Connie went on too, because she found out it's not men that she was attracted to. So you're cured. So that's all part of that. I'm just so happy that you all are part of this with me, and I look at so many of you here, and it just warms my heart to look at our paths and how they've crossed, and how important you have been to our life, much more than I think I've ever been to you. I think of the beginning members, of the 8 members that started this pool, and Jeff is here, along with Melanie, along with Linda Hahn and Dave Alexer. These are the most critical pioneers of WISTIP we have. We have people like Kathy Sillins, who was also there to help and assist and support WISTA in its work in the feasibility program to get that thing to work. WISDA has been a true partner and champion with WISTIP's growth and development, and we've always worked incredibly close together, and I give that compliment to Kathy Sillins for what she has done for public information. Now I think back to those original members who were there when I started. During the interview, I remember I started on April 1. I went to Jeff's office there in Mill Creek along with Al Hendricks, who was the general counsel, signing the papers. And I'm all of a sudden beginning to realize, what have I done? As Jeff said, I don't read the balance sheets or income and expense reports very well. But when I saw that $280 surplus number, I'm going, crying out loud, I hope this lasts at least 3 years so I can get a real job. It was sketchy. But we did pull it off, and that's because of those pioneers, and the accomplishments they made and the commitment they made to the success and where we are. And I don't want to, make this too maudlin, but we had some great members who have moved on. And I hopefully some of you may remember John Eskier, Ernie Grachin, and most recently Dan and Julio. Incredible people who have been part of our community, part of our life. And Dan said, to clarify what we did before we got into GIM, the Governmental and Mutual, is he said, hey, you guys, this is deja vu all over again. We have more information on this gig than we had when we got started. Let's just sign the damn thing and move on. And that's what he moved it on with, and he was very forceful. Now, as Ben Foreman and Dan Julio will attest, I've been to the woodshed more than once in this career path, and I really undeserved at times, but I had to give them a little something to work on so I could get on with what I was going to do behind their back anyway. But that, by the way, by the time you get that, they think it's their idea, and you just say, wow, you're brilliant, wow, what's foresight? So I would be remiss not to remember some of our help that we had in here. Remember the first employee after Denise joined us early on. We hired Doug Bird. We stole him from Spokane County, Spokane Transit, and after a while he became more interested in cellular service and how cellular business works. And he said, "I got to get out of this. I want to get into that industry." So he steps out, and going to leave me. And I told him, "Listen, I saw this guy down at Skamania. Oh, he's a little quirky, but you know what? He really seems to know what he's talking about, and he seems so energized. I just think that we got to bring him in." And guess who that was? Jerry. Michael Jeremiah Spears. So I got him to come on over, and I told him, I said, "You're going to be doing all the IT." He says, "I don't know anything about IT. I don't have a clue." "Oh, you will. It'll come to you." So, and as you know, he became an incredible superpower on the Risk Master program, on data analytics, and all the nuances that go with running an active department. Well, at the time he needed a little bit of help. So he's, and of course we're always trying to maintain, a budget line. I said, "Well, let's go try one of the high schools. Those kids, who knows what they know? They might be able to help us doing some of the routine applications that we want to put together." And there he came in, this young little cherub of a boy named Dr. Don Orton. Stand up, everybody see who you are. He was amazing as he worked through all of the different processes we had to get to, which is getting more and more sophisticated, getting bigger and bigger servers. It was just amazing how he was able to help address that. And we had him in a little glass office, and on occasions we'd be going in there, and he may have worked about 12, 15 hours, and he'd be in there. Next thing we know, he is stone out. Sitting back there, and of course there's a big glass picture in front of him. Everybody walking by, seems sprawled back.
That happened one time.
There was about 6 of us looking at it through the window. It was freezing.
If you say so, Don. And then he got stolen from us by Kitsap Transit, So that was the end of that. And of course, we can't remember, of course, Denise Ellison and the contribution she's given us in all this time. I think when we go back and look at those early beginnings and how we get started, it was really blazing new trails. We learned together. Everything that I may have accomplished was at your discretion. It was at your initiative. It was you who made this possible. It's you that have, as of recently, really started to assume the vision of where the organization is going. I applaud each and every one of you for that. I applaud you for your ability to see for yourself how you can get to where we need to go to reach the goal of $5 million SIR by 2023. And it'll be a challenge to you to get there, but you will achieve it because you have the will. This is one of the most engaged boards in anywhere I've ever seen or heard of in our state and outside of it. And so I applaud you. I thank you. And as I begin my trip out, I'll say adieu. Because we will be back. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
We would like everybody to gather and where he and his family can just walk right down in between all of you. So we're going to do a row of people.